We know from previous years of experience that multiplication is a sort of shorthand for repeated addition. For example, 6 times 3 means that we are going to jump 6 times, each jump covering 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We also know that multiplication, like addition, is commutative, meaning the order of the numbers in the problem doesn't matter. So in the same way that 6 times 3 gives us 18, 3 times 6 is also 18. Last week, we introduced the idea of negative numbers in multiplication and division, and established the rule that if one number is positive and the other number is negative, the answer is going to be negative. So 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, because this means that we're jumping 6 times, but each jump covers negative 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Multiplication remains commutative even if there's a negative number involved. So 6 times negative 3 is the same as negative 3 times 6. What if we move the negative sign to the other number? So now we have negative 6 times 3. That's going to give us the same answer, negative 18, because of the rule that if one number is negative and the other number is positive, the answer will always be negative. And because multiplication is commutative, negative 6 times 3 is the same as 3 times negative 6. The new concept that we need to introduce is the idea of both numbers being negative. That could be written as either negative 6 times negative 3, or, because of the commutative property, negative 3 times negative 6. At this point, we lose the ability to draw jumps on a number line because you can't really jump a negative amount of times covering a negative distance. It doesn't quite work. So instead, we need to think about this problem in green in a slightly different way. Notice that in these problems in red and orange, one number was positive and the other number was negative. We can think about this as the numbers disagreeing. One has one opinion, the other has a different opinion. One is positive, the other is negative. And when you disagree, that's typically a negative experience. So you get a negative answer. In other words, all of these problems fit into the same category. One of the numbers is negative, the other is positive, and so you get a negative result. Even though both of these numbers are negative, this problem in green actually has more in common with this problem in blue. And this is because of the metaphor of agreeing. In this problem, 6 and 3 agree about what they are. They're both positive. And when you agree, that's typically a positive experience. So the answer is positive 18. Down here in green, negative 6 and negative 3 agree about what they are. They both agree that they're negative. And when you agree, that's typically a positive experience. So if both of the numbers are negative, you actually end up with a positive answer. Another way to think about this setup is that if the signs on the numbers are the same, they're both positive or both negative, you will get a positive answer. It's only if one is negative and the other is positive, when the signs are different, that you get a negative result. 12 times 5 and 5 times 12 are the same problem because multiplication is commutative and you can flip the numbers around. Since both of these are positive, they agree as to what they are. Agreeing is a positive experience, so your answer is positive 60. If we put one negative number into the problem, so 12 times negative 5, or negative 5 times 12, which are the same thing, just flipped, or negative 12 times positive 5, which is the same as positive 5 times negative 12, the two numbers are just flipped. All of these, because there is only one negative number in the problem, give us a negative answer. All of these are answerable as negative 60. The new concept then is what if both of them are negative? Negative 12 times negative 5 or negative 5 times negative 12. Remember that if both of them are negative, they agree on what they are. Just like the problem in blue agreed that both of them were positive, in green, both of them agree to be negative. And so negative 12 agreeing with negative 5 gives us a positive result, 60. The rule is this. If you are multiplying and dividing negatives, if both numbers have the same sign, both are positive or both are negative, the answer will always be positive. If the numbers have different signs, one is positive and the other is negative, the answer will be negative. This applies to division as well. 16 divided by 4, of course, gives us 4. It's worth noting that division is not commutative. You can't flip the numbers around and get the same result. 4 divided by 16 is something entirely different. 16 divided by negative 4 and negative 16 divided by positive 4 will give us the same answer. They disagree because one of them is positive and the other one is negative. In that case, just like multiplication, you're going to get a negative result. If both of them are negative, negative 16 divided by negative 4, they both agree on what they want to be. And when you agree, that's a positive result, a positive experience. The answer then would be positive. What about 48 divided by 8? This gives us 6. If we throw one negative sign into the problem, either from the negative 8 or in negative 48, then, and only then, do we get a negative answer. Negative 6 is the answer to both of these problems. If we add another negative sign, so both of our numbers are negative, negative 48 divided by negative 8, then we get a positive result. Again, with division, just like multiplication, if the numbers have the same sign, the answer will always be positive. Only if the numbers have different signs, one is positive and the other negative, then the answer is negative. What happens if you have more than two numbers? So in this case, we have 5 times 2 times 3. The trick here is to break this down into pairs and then move forward. Our first pair is 5 multiplied by 2, which of course gives us 10. Once we've established that result, then we can multiply the result by the extra number. 10 times 3, of course, gives us 30. What if a negative is involved? 5 times negative 2 times 3. You might think, because of the previous rules, that because there is one negative number involved, it tells you what kind of number the answer should be. But that only works when you're dealing with pairs. If you're dealing with more than two numbers, you have to break it down into pairs first. Our first pair here is 5 multiplied by negative 2. Since one number is negative and the other is positive, the answer must be negative. Then we take that result and multiply it by the rest. Negative 10 times 3. Again, one number is negative and the other is positive. The signs disagree, and that is a negative experience. How about negative 5 times negative 2 times 3? Take our first pair, negative 5 times negative 2. Since the signs agree, both numbers are negative, the answer is positive, positive 10. Agreeing about what you are is a positive experience. Then we take that result and multiply it by the extra number. Positive 10 times positive 3 is, of course, positive 30. And finally, what if they're all negative? Negative 5 times negative 2 times negative 3. Let's take our first pair, negative 5 times negative 2, negative, negative, the signs are the same, they agree, we get a positive answer. Then we take that result and multiply it by the extra number. Now we have one positive and the other negative. They disagree. That's a negative experience. Our answer is negative 30. For tomorrow morning, in your homework folder, your assignment is called September 21st MultDiv Homework. If you have any questions, please join me on my office hours at 1:45 this afternoon. Have a great day.